welcome. You're on to News Wrap Up on Aspheric TV. My name is Double Gift. The headlines: If war breaks out in Nigeria, I won't run away. Peter Obi. APC Senator: Most senators backed Buhari's planned impeachment. Baba Ahmed: We have plans to end insecurity. Khan kicks against Jai's Bank's reconstruction of Jos Terminus Market. We didn't effect petrol price increase. NNPC says marketers did. We'll go on a short break. When I return, I'll give you details of this and more. Please stay with us.
Thank you for those who have subscribed to our channel. We are happy to have you on our channel. Thank you so much for all your support. But please, for those who have not subscribed, we are begging you, subscribe to our channels. Please subscribe. Please, we are begging you, subscribe to our channel. And while subscribing, do not forget to click on the notification button, the button around it. Don't click for you to get our notification whenever we're on live program, wherever we're covering a live program, wherever we're giving you a news update, whenever we post a new content on our channels. Please do not forget to follow us on our social media handles. On Facebook, official at Aspheric News. On Instagram, Aspheric News. On Twitter, and Aspheric News. On LinkedIn, and Aspheric News. Please, thank you so much for your huge support. Your huge support. Watching is a support. Thank you. We are grateful. But please, let someone know about Aspheric TV. And also to call on us anyone in need of our service. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now the news. The Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has said he won't abandon Nigeria if war breaks out in the country. Obi said he prefers to die in Nigeria if war should break out than to be a free man in another country. He disclosed this during a virtual interactive session with more than 1,000 members of his foremost support group, the Peter Obi Support Network. The former Anambra State governor said he deliberately avoided obtaining residence permits and citizenship rights from other countries because he believes in Nigeria. According to Obi, when I left the UK after residing there for over 10 years, I returned everything that belonged to them. I have a singular focus on Nigeria, and I do not think I need the citizenship or residence rights of any other country when I haven't finished exploiting my nature-given rights and privileges as a Nigerian. If I am out of Nigeria today and there is a war in Nigeria, I will find a way to return to Nigeria because I would rather die in my country, Nigeria, than live free in another man's country. The presidential candidate appealed to Nigerians in the diaspora to contribute to the country's development. Senator Adamu Bulkachuwa, representing Bauchi North Senatorial District, has said majority of members of the Senate are in support of the move to impeach President Muhammadu Buhari over the failure of his regime to address the growing insecurity in Nigeria. Bulkachuwa, a member of the ruling All Progressives Congress, the party with the majority in the Senate and the House of Representatives, said almost all members of the Senate backed the move when the lawmakers were in an executive closed-door session at the plenary last Wednesday. The senators threatened to impeach the president over the worsening insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and the country at large. The angry lawmakers gave the president a 6-week ultimatum to address the security crisis or face impeachment proceedings. Speaking on politics today, a current affairs program on Channels Television, Bulkachuwa on Monday stated that the previous efforts, especially made by the National Assembly to end the security crisis, had failed. He also said the lawmakers at the closed-door session also raised the issues of the economy. Recalling some of the events that played out on that fateful day, the lawmaker said, in the first instance on that day, The Senate went into a closed session, and it was at the closed session that those issues were discussed. Without divulging so much, I can tell you that majority of senators really felt there was the need to initiate that action. When asked if they included APC lawmakers and if the resolution was unanimous, Bulkachuwa stated it was not 100% unanimous per se, but the majority supported it. And this didn't come out to public knowledge because it was during a closed session. And as you know, closed sessions or executive sessions, there are no journalists, not even members of staff of the assembly. It is purely a meeting of lawmakers. Yusuf Ahmed Baba, the running mate of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has said that both himself and Obi have solutions to end insecurity in Nigeria. He, however, failed to say what the plans to end the insecurity were, noting that there was no point talking about the plans as so many politicians had talked and failed. Yusuf spoke on Monday on Channels Television and also accused President Muhammadu Buhari of failing to tackle insecurity in the country. Yusuf said he was ashamed that Buhari failed to secure Nigeria despite all his promises to end insecurity. Yusuf was speaking on the program tagged Politics Today and reacting to how Obi's administration, if he won the elections, will tackle insecurity. Yusuf said, we do have Nigerians, I beg your pardon, we do what have Nigerians not heard in the past? What has the All Progressives Congress not told Nigerians? What did Buhari not say about restoring security? Are Nigerians not tired of hearing people talk and doing the opposite? Peter Obi and I are completely a different mix. That is why we are seeking this opportunity, and when we get it, we will deliver. The importance of talking has been destroyed by this administration. I feel ashamed to talk because someone like Buhari has talked and he failed. I don't want to talk but act. We have the solution, and by the grace of God, Nigerians will be safe and secured. Insecurity has been the most sensitive situation for every Nigerian at the moment, with many staying on guard as they go about their daily activities. It is expected that electorates will be keenly interested in which presidential candidate has the best plan to tackle insecurity and how to execute such. Yusuf was also asked on how he and Obi planned to address the education sector, which has been marred by persistent strikes. He said the way to end persistent strike actions of the Academic Staff Union of Universities in Nigeria was consistent negotiations, adding that the Obi's administration would be committed to welfare of lecturers. The Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) in Plateau State and a coalition of Plateau indigenous groups and other related organizations have called for the suspension of proposed work at the Jos Main Market terminus for what they describe as ambiguity in contract agreement. According to them, the agreement is between the state government and the financier of the reconstruction, Jaiz Bank PLC. The group made the call at a meeting convened by the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) in Plateau, Reverend Father Polycarp Lubo, on Monday at Government House, Jos. The CAN chairman conveyed the stakeholders' position at a news conference at the end of a meeting between the groups and state executives of the Plateau government. The news agency of Nigeria recalls that the Plateau Executive Council approved the reconstruction of the market gutted by fire in 2002 through a public-private partnership with Jaiz Bank PLC. The reconstruction is estimated to cost 9.4 billion for 3 phases of the market. The CAN official said that he convened the meeting following tension in the states on information that the state had mortgaged the lives and property of its youths for 40 years through its agreements. He said the groups were aggrieved of not being consulted as critical stakeholders before the agreements on the market reconstruction. He advised that the reconstruction should be put on hold until proper consultation would be done. We came to a conclusion that the government will go and redress this situation and look into our concerns until our fears are being addressed. Speaking on behalf of government, Mr. Chrysanthus Amadu, the Attorney General of the state, expressed concern that Plateau people had been misinformed on the reconstruction contract. He explained that the 40 years period, a sublease for the buyers to help them to recoup from buying the shops. The agreement is that the allottees will be granted a 40-year sublease by the Jos Main Market Authority. At the end of 40 years, the property reverts back to the market authority. So if you are buying a shop, know that you are buying for 40 years. It is not Jaiz Bank PLC, which is to be given 40 years, he said. He said the state government was still discussing with the bank as no conclusion had been reached, but an understanding was reached on how the project will be executed. Jaiz Bank PLC is just a financer. It is putting money for the contractor to do the job at the end of it. They will sell 60% while government will sell 40%, he said. He assured the Plateau people of fairness and equity in the sale of the shops, saying even the 60% to be sold by the bank would be supervised by government for fairness. He added that government had listened to their concerns and would go back for further consultations to best serve the interests of the people. The federal government on Monday said it had not raised the pump price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, above the regulated cost of 165 naira per litre. It said the hike in the cost of the commodity, currently between 175 naira per litre and 230 naira per litre, depending on the location of purchase, was done by oil marketers. The government, however, could not explain why it was not enforcing the approved price. According to Punch, oil marketers across the country recently raised the price of petrol above the approved 165 naira per litre rate without any official approval by the government. This was despite the fact that the cost of commodity was still being regulated. The marketers had argued that the 165 naira per litre approved price was not sustainable and was contributory to the scarcity of petrol in many locations nationwide. They eventually hiked the pump price of petrol and had maintained the price increase for several weeks, running without any resistance by the government. Speaking on the sidelines of the Stakeholders Consultation Forum on midstream and downstream petroleum regulations, organized by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority in Abuja, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Silva, insisted the government had not raised the price of PMS. Asked to comment on the disparity in the pump prices of petrol and why the government had not waded into the matter, the minister said, "Well, I can tell you authoritatively that we have not deregulated. The government is still subsiding. If there are increases in the price, it is not from the government. It is probably from the marketers. But of course, I will talk to the NMDPRA's chief executive to ensure that they actually regulate the prices. But this is not from the government because we have not deregulated." Probed further to explain why no action had been taken against the marketers and why there had been no monitoring exercise to enforce the government-approved price, Silva replied, "Well, I don't know about monitoring exercise, but I know that the authority is fully on their job and the queues will be dissipated very soon. On the essence of the forum, the Chief Executive, NMDPRA Farouk Ahmed, said the program was in accordance with the demand of the Petroleum Industry Act to allow stakeholders participate in the making of regulations which impact on them. He said Section 216 of the PIA mandates the authority to consult with stakeholders prior to finalizing any regulations or amendments to regulations. However, we do not consider this an obligation or box-ticking exercise, as continuous engagement with our stakeholders to enable their business is at the core of our regulation. Ahmed said the regulator had so far published and received significant feedback on the 10 regulations to be considered, as he outlined the PM to include the Petroleum, Transportation and Shipment regulations, assignment and transfer of license and permit regulations, and midstream and downstream petroleum operations regulations. Others include the petroleum pipeline regulations, gas pricing, domestic demand and delivery regulations, natural gas pipeline tariff regulations, and midstream and downstream decommissioning and abandonment regulations. He named the remaining to include the environmental regulations for midstream and downstream operations, midstream and downstream gas infrastructure fund regulations, and environmental remediation funds regulations. Ahmed assured industry stakeholders that their inputs as regards the regulations during the forum would be taken seriously, adding that the aim was to grow the Nigerian oil sector. That's the news. My name is Double Gifts. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Aspheric TV on YouTube, and follow us on all of our social media platforms. On Instagram and Twitter, we are Aspheric News, and on Facebook, we are Official Aspheric News. Thanks for watching. Bye.